Taiwan's legislative Yuan is reviewing a draft amendment to tourism development regulations. Indigenous legislators have criticized the government policy on tourism development in indigenous areas.
Hualien has beautiful scenery. It also has rich indigenous culture. None of these, however, is listed under the local government's tourism plan. It is precisely for this reason that it has been criticized as inadequate to fairly represent Taiwan.
The legislative Yuan is reviewing a draft amendment to tourism development regulations. Indigenous legislator Yang Renfu Hualien criticized an international hotspot project proposed by the Tourism Bureau for not showcasing the uniqueness of the eastern coastal area. Another indigenous legislator, Kong Wenji, also panned the project, demanding that tour packages designed for Chinese tourists include the indigenous areas.
Chinese tourists visit Sun Moon Lake. They take ferries and stay at local hotels. When they arrive in Alishan, they stay at the Prince Hotel. Tell me, does any of this benefit indigenous people? No. So far, the Tourism Bureau has not drawn up a sufficiently comprehensive tourism plan. Scenic areas are just part of the new approach to attracting tourists. We are talking to the Bureau of Tourism to see how we can introduce tourists to indigenous cultures and incorporate the indigenous handicraft industry into the tourism plan.
The legislator went a step further, recommending that an indigenous representative or special unit be in charge of tourism in indigenous areas.
It may be difficult to develop tourism in indigenous areas without appointing a head that truly understands indigenous people, their culture, and way of life. This would also make it difficult for Taiwan to attract more international tourists.
The Tourism Bureau says a special unit for indigenous community is currently not an option due to limited manpower. The Bureau says once it has a bigger staff, it will recruit people to be responsible for indigenous communities under an Indigenous Affairs Unit. TITV Weekly.